came to Hollywood Studios 50 times last year, so trust me when I say I know how to have a best day ever here. Today, I'm taking you along to learn all the tips, tricks, and strategies so you can have the best day ever in Hollywood Studios. Or just live vicariously through me if you're not coming anytime soon. I welcome that too. Hollywood Studios, are you feeling like a movie star? I'm feeling like a movie star. Now, first thing you might notice is that we are getting here a little bit after the park has been open. Now, typically, a big recommendation in Disney World is to get there before the park opens and truly rope drop. Now, we do that all the time, and you can see that on the channel in any of our ride challenges. You can see it in a lot of our perfect days, but something I hear a lot is that with kids, or even with just not warning people in your party, it's a little difficult to actually make it to where you're standing in front of the park gates before the park opens. So today, I'm showing you that you don't need to still have the best day ever. Plus, that's also just going to wait. You just get to the park early to then stand and wait outside of the park gates instead of inside the park gates. So yes, it's a great way to maximize your park time, but it is certainly not a must. And you can have a really great day without doing it, as I will demonstrate. It is right at park open right now, so these gates are open, but folks have been inside for a while because all guests can enter with early entry. Those who are staying in a hotel do get actual early entry. It can go ride rides 30 minutes before the park is open, but all guests can enter and start lining up for things. So lots of folks are already in the park. Don't you worry. You do not need to get up at the crack of dawn necessarily. You can still have a great day even if you can't find one of your kids' socks for an hour and a half. I've been there, I get it. All right, Hollywood Studios. This is the third park that Disney opened after Magic Kingdom and Epcot. It is one that has seen a lot of evolutions over the years. It used to be Disney's MGM Studios. It's now, of course, Disney's Hollywood Studios. And it's a lot about stepping into your favorite movies and becoming a part of them yourself, as well as learning a bit about the movie making magic. I absolutely love this park. I think it is really wonderful these days. But something to be aware of here is that it has a lot of extremely popular rides and not that many rides, but all the rides are extremely popular. So wait times do get pretty long here. So I'm going to be using some tried and true strategies today to contend with that. I am going to do something a little off kilter here, and I am going to swing in to Trolley Car Cafe first thing. This is the park Starbucks location. There are also Joffrey's coffee locations if you want something a little more unique to Disney World, but this gets extremely long lines after that first chunk of the day. So as you can see, lines are super short right now. So we're gonna step in and grab a quick coffee, maybe a little breakfast item for our first line. And that way we don't have to spend 25 minutes, 30 minutes waiting for coffee later. That is a silly use of your Disney World time. Now we have two options this morning for the ride that we're going to rope drop. Now to truly rope drop, yes, you'll want to arrive at the park before the park opens to maximize your rope drop time. But depending on the day you're here, the crowd levels, rope drop it also kind of extends for about an hour to 2 hours after the park opens, where wait times remain a little bit shorter than they will be until later in the evening. Most folks this morning have headed to Slinky Dog Dash or Rock and Roller Coaster. That is probably going to be the trend for a while here. It used to be that Rise of Resistance was the star rope drop attraction, but those days are a little bit over, especially with the changes coming to Rock and Roller Coaster. We're just getting a Muppets retheme. We'll talk more about that later. Mickey and Minnie's has a 30-minute wait right now, which is probably a little bit less. First thing in the morning, wait times do tend to be just a little bit shorter than projected because they're just kind of making their best guess, and they always try to overshoot instead of undershoot, just so that you come out, if anything, delightfully surprised instead of disappointed because you waited longer than posted. Mickey and Minnie's is at 30 minutes, Rise is at 50. Both of those are good times for those rides, but Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is included in Disney's Skip the Line service Lightning Lane Multipass, which we are using today. Now, I don't have a Lightning Lane for it yet, but I'm pretty sure I can get one, or at the very least, we'll be able to get that wait time when it drops later this evening. Rise of the Resistance is not included in Lightning Lane Multipass. It does have a single rider line that makes getting on it super easy, but that single rider line skips 2 of the pre-shows, which are very important to the story of the Rise of the Resistance attraction. So I never recommend using that single rider line as your first time on the ride. Only use it for re-rides. We are gonna head to Rise of the Resistance first, get in that 50-minute line, and hope that it's more like 30 or 40 minutes. But even 50 minutes isn't bad for Rise of the Resistance. Doesn't look too shabby for Rise of the Resistance. If Rise of the Resistance is contained to its actual queue, this early in the morning, that's not too shabby. Another reason riding really popular rides first thing in the morning can be a good call, because in the instance of Rise, though it's not included in Lightning Lane Multipass, it does offer Lightning Lane Single Pass and a la carte purchase. I don't think you need that. I don't think you need to spend the extra dough. If you're gonna buy one, I recommend Multipass in this park. And honestly, you don't really need either. So our line should move kind of fast here. I've got my coffee. It says Quincy with a little Mickey. All right, the wait has continued to go up as we get closer to an hour into the park day. You can see they've just opened the extended queue right around 9:30. It goes outside of the attraction. We are well past that point, so we're cool. And the line is really moving, as I predicted. I've been stopped a couple of times, but then we move in like huge chunks, which makes sense because Rise Resistance fills a pre-show. So there will be a big movement and then a pause, and then a big movement and then a pause. Oh, we're inside Laser Caves. Also, truly, the longest I've stood still for is like 10 seconds this whole time. Exactly 30 minutes later, I'm about to walk into the pre-show room, which is not too shabby.
Incoming transmission from Ray. BB-8, is everyone assembled? Good.
I hear you're a fine-looking group of recruits. Well, no time to waste. Let's get you on your way to the general.
He called us a fine-looking group of recruits.
I'll get some friends to make this a fair fight. Don't worry, I'll come back for you. Stay.
All right, time to get interrogated. Scary, look at all those stormtroopers. Pretty intimidating.
You know the location of the secret base, and I will take it from you.
We are needed on the bridge.
Keep the prisoners here. I will.
No, not up! I said down! Now!
Sound the alarm! All personnel to their stations!
No resistance.
I gotta say, years later, I think that remains the most incredible ride in the world. I've ridden a lot of rides in this world. What a way to start the day with Rise Resistance. Just a 30-minute wait for Rise Resistance. Perfect amount of time to drink my coffee, honestly. Such a good ride. And I'm so glad we started our day with it. And now we're starting our day with one of the best breakfasts in Hollywood Studios, the morning Ronto wrap. A couple little fun facts on the way there to get our Ronto wrap. This is the Batu Marketplace. Really fun place to shop because it's all these little like stalls of Star Wars stuff, and it's all in universe. So you won't find anything that says Star Wars. You'll find stuff that ostensibly could be sold in a Star Wars universe. Also a fun fact, if you're an old school MGM Studios fan and you're familiar with lights, motors, action, a lot of Galaxy's Edge has some car parts as part of the theming, but here in particularly, the Orabesh, that's the Star Wars language, on this speeder right here in the middle says LMA for lights, motors, action. And you gotta keep your eyes peeled for some pretty cool theming in here in the toy shop, which is my favorite shop because, do you blame me? Look at these things. You can't actually see the toy maker in their workshop putting the toys together up there. But at the very end of the marketplace is where you'll find Ronto roasters. You can tell because you can see these giant space meats, that's Ronto, roasting on a huge spaceship engine, which is wild. And this droid, who seems the most over his job of any droid I've ever seen. Now, just in case there was a line, which there doesn't happen to be right now, but just in case there was a line, I did go ahead and mobile order my Ronto wrap into my Disney Experience app. I did that while I was waiting in line because you can pick a pickup time. So I was able to pick a pickup time, and now I can just hit I'm here for my order and pick up my Ronto wrap. All right, here is the Ronto morning wrap. It is eggs, grilled pork sausage, shredded cheddar, and peppercorn sauce in pita bread. Pro tip, ask for extra peppercorn sauce. You can get these up to 11 a.m. And then after that, it's only the regular Ronto wrap. Regular Ronto wrap, also delicious. That's more of like a lunch option. And I recommend either one, honestly. I think they're both really, really good. Ask for extra sauce either way and you'll be a happy camper. Something I hear a lot is that the Ronto wraps are overrated, both the morning and the not. What I will say, they are not overrated if you get a good one. They are, however, inconsistent. I get Ronto wraps a lot, and I would say it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not I'm gonna get a good one or a bad one. And then a perfect one comes around, I think, 30% of the time. I could tell this one was gonna be good. Smothered in that creamy, peppery, savory peppercorn sauce. Perfect snap from the pork sausage that is like nice and warm and hearty. The egg is doing what is exactly right for egg in a breakfast, which is complementing everything else but not overpowering it. And they've loaded it up with cheese. The pita bread is soft but warm and toasty. Yeah, this is the way to start a best day ever. So I'm gonna try to do all my Galaxy's Edge plans right now. I thought this was a real man out of the corner of my eye. We should go into Doc Onder's. Doc Onder's Den of Antiquities is a really cool store. It's got a lot of like prop replicas and like jewelry and stuff, masks and robes. You can dress like your favorite Star Wars characters. You can get a Mandalorian helmet, get yourself a droid, you know, the usual. This is also going to be your stop for if you want to buy a lightsaber. They do have all the character lightsabers in here. They add new ones a lot. They're very cool. You can get them out, you can hold them, see if you might be interested in grabbing them. And of course, I come in to say hi to Doc, my good friend. Hey, Doc. My next stop, I believe, is going to be Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. This has a really great single rider line that I absolutely do recommend using. But similar to Rise of Resistance, I would not recommend using it on your first try. And in fact, this ride is just a lot more fun in general if you happen to do it with your whole family. Okay, this is interesting. They are advertising Oga's Cantina after you get off of Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run, which means Oga's Cantina might be dead today. So that might be a stop that we do after Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. Now, 45 minutes is right at my max for how long I'd be willing to wait in the standby line for this. Hi! But I want to show you guys how to have a best day, and I just don't think splitting up your party is a good idea for this one because it is so much fun when you do it with the folks you came with. So even though I'm alone, I'm gonna do the regular standby line to see how accurate that is. Really, a rule that I go by is that if the line isn't outside in this exterior portion of the queue that we're in, or at least is really close to the door, then it's not too bad. This is a really cool queue. It actually even has an interactive game that you can play in the Play Disney Parks app. Y'all, there's nobody in the entire engine room. I will be shocked if this is 45 minutes. Shocked. This looks more like 25 max. That is why I always say, don't be afraid to look at a line with your eyes. And if you get in there and it looks long, to go ahead and back out of the line. But don't be afraid to like ignore the posted wait times a little bit and go look with your eyes at what the lines look like. Unless part of the ride is down, this is like gonna be a very short wait. So I don't know why I was posted to 45 minutes. 18 minutes later, and we're in the pre-show.
Hello, my friend.
Just kidding.
You're back. I did not think I would see you again after the incident. You're braver than I thought.
Made the jump to light speed.
We got one container of coaxium. Was not the best, but was still really fun. And now I've done both of the Star Wars rides. You might notice I have my multipus. I could have used it to skip that line later in the day, but I didn't. And that is because I don't want to backtrack back here, and why skip a line that I only waited 20 minutes in. So I'm actually holding on to some very high demand, very useful lighting lanes for later, and not worrying about it this early in the morning. One of the big complaints about using lighting lane is you're on your phone all day. I'm going to show you that to use it to the max, you got to know how to use it, and that means not being on your phone all day. So that's what I'm doing. All right, I wasn't necessarily planning this, but one of the most fun parts of a best day ever is changing your plans stumbling upon something more fun that you maybe weren't thinking of. And since they were out, you know, advertising of this cantina, that means I might be able to get a quick walk-up spot to go to the very cool bar located here in Galaxy's Edge that does have a DJ droid. So I'm gonna see what the kind of wait looks like for me. But since they were advertising, I think a party of much larger than me could get in at this point. Only about a 10-minute wait for the very popular Star Wars themed lounge. This cantina is awesome. They have like space vibe drinks. It is a really great place to step in. It can get really booked up and really crowded. It does take reservations, but on most days, if you go kind of earlier in the day, they do take walk-ins and you might only wait like 10 minutes like I am, or maybe 20 minutes. And it is definitely worth stopping in. I think I'm gonna go old favorite and hit the jet juice.
Jet juice.
Yes, please.
Do you like as it normally comes chilled, or would you prefer it over ice?
I'll do chilled. Chilled is great. It's playing one of my favorite songs, which is the one that sounds like Chance. For my drink, I went with the jet juice. This is Maker's Mark Kentucky Straight Bourbon, Ancho Reyes Chili Liqueur, During's Pomegranate Liqueur, White Grape Juice, and Lemon Juice for 19 bucks. And though you can feel the like pleasant burn of the bourbon, it mostly tastes like the pomegranate, so it's kind of a nice juicy drink. Not too bad for a little late morning cocktail. You're on vacation, okay? Rules kind of go out the window. So fun in there. Also, because it's such a popular bar, they do have a 45-minute limit. I think they're a little lax on it if they're not super busy, but they technically do have a 45 limit. They'll warn you of this, and you might be standing, you might be seated around or with other parties. So if you do need a seat, go ahead and let them know when you are asking for a table or checking in for your reservation, because you'll want to make sure that you get one. A lot of it is standing room. I like standing at the bar personally, and with smaller parties, that's typically where you end up. But I don't know, it's just a blast in there. I was only in there for about like, I don't know, 20 minutes, so really fun little stop. I think that brings us to the end of our Galaxy's Edge antics. Ooh, unless Chewbacca's out. I could meet Chewbacca. Hey Chewie, how's it going? I gotta say, your hair's looking good. Did you just get it done? Yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
She noticed your hair, Chewie. That was so sweet.
Yeah, I've been looking at it, you know, waiting for you, so. It looks good. His hair did look good. I met Chewbacca like 2 weeks ago. His hair did not look that good. So I think you just got it done. I am popping into Echo Lake. Echo Lake is kind of like a sort of throwback Hollywood vibe. Very fun area. Technically we're walking through New York to get there, but there's just not that much to New York anymore, except some storefronts. Used to be the home of Muppets Courtyard, Grand Avenue, which is now closed for a transformation into a Monsters Inc. land. It will become Monstropolis. I am beyond excited for this, but it is probably a long way off. Tropical Americas in Animal Kingdom was announced much earlier, has been underway, and is expected to open in 2027. So Monstropolis probably 2028 or later. Here's the art of it. Looks like you're gonna head in. There might be some sort of monster theater called the Glob with a monster show maybe. Looks like it's gonna have a Harryhausen's sushi restaurant, which I'm so excited about. I love sushi. And then the back of the land, the brand new Monsters Inc. roller coaster that will be a Doors roller coaster like the Doors in Monsters Inc. Okay, one of my priorities here in Echo Lake is to catch a show. There's lots of shows here in Hollywood Studios, as you might guess. My favorite is here in Echo Lake, and this is actually my favorite show in all of Disney World, is the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. Absolutely can't miss this show. It's maybe not the best for little kiddos because it has really loud noises and some pretty scary effects, but for kiddos who are old enough to understand what's going on, and kids of all ages after that, including my 80-year-old kids out there, it's a pretty cool show. So I do recommend it. Let's see when that next show is. It's at 1:15. I think we can get some stuff done before 1:15. I said I was done with Star Wars, but I did kind of lie. We're out of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but we are gonna put a cap on our Star Wars activities by heading into Star Tours. Star Tours is a simulator attraction that takes you into the space. I was gonna say sky, but it's really space. Takes you into space aboard Star Tours. which is just kind of like a tourism company. Of course, accidentally, C-3PO and R2-D2 end up flying, which is maybe not ideal. This ride is super fun because it is rarely, if ever, the same ride twice. You will get 3 different scenes during your ride, and those scenes do change. They can be from the sequel time period, the prequel time period, the original trilogy time period. You never know what characters you're going to see. You never know what antics you're going to get into. I absolutely love this one. Caution for motion sickness. If you do get motion sickness easily, I recommend asking to sit closer to the middle of the vehicle. If you are on the sides, especially in the back, oof, it'll get you.
We need a proper pilot.
Well, stay low. Use their tracking and put your shields up. If they work.
He says he has vital information to deliver and needs our help. Watch out!
Alright, we got the sequel trilogy. Saw Finn, Poe, BB-8. Went to Batuu at the end, which was like, man, I wish we had been at Batuu all morning because then we could be immersive. Go to Batuu now. That's okay. Alright, it is 1:01, so just about time for us to head to the Indiana Jones show at 1:15. I do recommend arriving early if you want good seats. However, I often walk up like 5 minutes ahead of the show starting and sit in the very front row, albeit all the way on the side. So I do recommend like kind of walking down and seeing how close you can get because it might be closer than you think. People tend to avoid those first few rows, and those are great seats for this show. That said, in busier times, like in the summer, around the holidays, the theater can fill up. It's a huge theater, but it can fill up on those midday shows. So in those instances, you might want to go for more like 20 minutes, 15 minutes ahead of show. I am swinging into Baseline Tap House. This is a really cool bar. They've got draft beer. It's one of my favorite places to grab a beer in all of Disney World because they do have more unique options. I'm gonna grab a beer that we can bring into the show so we can have a little libation for the experience. I wrote the North Coast Red Seal Ale. Little hoppy, little malty, little spicy at the end. Tasty, refreshing beer. And because the Indiana Jones Theater is outdoors, you can bring a beverage or even food in. That's also true of the Beauty and the Beast show, which also has an outdoor theater, and indoor theater, Frozen Ever After. No food, but you can bring a drink in, which is a great time to have as like a little multitasking break. This wait time for Mickey and Minnie says that it's 30 minutes, and I swear I don't see anybody in the queue. I mean, there's like one family in the queue. That can't be right.
And cut! Well done, stunt team! Give it up for the stunt team! Great job, everyone!
Always an incredible show. My next career move, I think, is going to be an actor in the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. I just think that would really suit me. And I don't mean one of the stunt people. I mean one of the people who wears cargo shorts and pretends to operate a camera 5 times a day. That's the kind of job I want. It is a little bit past prime lunchtime now, and I am getting a tad hungry. I would like to see potentially the Beauty and the Beast live on stage show today as well. That is down on Sunset Boulevard. There's only 2 more shows for the day, one at 2 p.m. and one at 4. If we go straight there, we can make the 2 p.m. I do like to get lunch in that show, but I think we can't quite make it if we stop for lunch. We could do lunch after, or we could do lunch now and do the 4 p.m. Beauty and the Beast show, which I think may be the better call. I'm not 100% sure. Also, the only catch there is I do think it's about time for us to use our first lightning lane of the day, which is going to be a Tower of Terror lightning lane. So, Lightning Lane Multipass, I've talked a bit about it, is Disney's Skip the Line service. One of the ways you can access those lightning lanes, and it is the way that you can access the most lightning lanes. It lets you access most attractions around all of Disney World, lets you skip their standby lines. To do so, you make up to 3 reservations at a time. Those reservations are each an hour-long window. And when you use one, you can book another. So it's not 3 for the whole day. It is 3, and if you use one, you can book another pending availability. Now that's the catch, there's the rub, the pending availability, because a lot of the most popular rides do book up, or you'll have to, you know, at 11 a.m. if you're trying to book a lightning lane for it, it'll be all the way out at 7 p.m. There are ways to use it where you're really, really maximizing getting everything as a lightning lane and never standing in any standby lines. You can see any of our lightning lane challenge videos to see a bit more about how that would work. That is not, however, the strategy we recommend. The best way to use lightning lane is as a mix between good strategy with just regular standby lines and good lightning lane strategy. So today, when I was able to book lightning lanes, which was 3 days ago, for guests that do not have a Disney resort reservation, it is 3 days in advance of your park day. For guests that do have a resort reservation, it is 7 days in advance of your check-in day for the length of your trip. So 3 days ago, because I don't have a resort, I was able to book my 3 lightning lanes at 7 a.m. I went ahead and booked Tower of Terror, Slinky Dog Dash, and Toy Story Mania. When you book in advance, there are Tier 1 and Tier 2 attractions. Now once you use your first lightning lane, you don't have to worry about that anymore. It's just for booking in advance, but the only Tier 1 I could get was Slinky Dog Dash, so the other 2 I got from the Tier 2 list. My first lightning lane of the day was Tower of Terror at 12:30. Now I am late for that one. It is over an hour past when I was supposed to be there, but secretly there's a 2-hour grace period. So as long as you scan in an hour and 59 minutes after your lightning lane was supposed to expire, you will still make it onto the ride with your lightning lane turning green. It's technically to cast member discretion, but that's a loophole we've been using here at AllEars for years at this point, and we have never been turned away. So it's a little past time for my lightning lane at Tower of Terror. I do need to use that kind of soon. We've got the Beauty and the Beast show. I could use lunch. Lots of things to choose from here. Okay, I did have to go to the bathroom, which was gonna make me late for the Beauty and the Beast show, which made me make my decision. So we're gonna ride Tower of Terror, eat some lunch, continue hanging out here on Sunset Boulevard. Probably should take us right up until it's time to catch the next Beauty and the Beast show at 4 o'clock, because I have a lot to do here on Sunset Boulevard. What's fun about Tower of Terror is that you actually drop faster than gravity pulls you down. It pulls you instead of just letting you free fall. So it's a very quick drop, and the drop sequences are randomized, which means that you might end up dropping different time every time you ride. Keeps it surprising. It's a blast. I can't wait to hop on. Now my lightning lane expired at 1:30. It is 2:09 right now, and check it out.
Are you turning blue?
Green. No, it went green at the end. Yep, thank you. It just took a second. A very slow green. Now, I have scanned my lightning lane. Once you've scanned into a lightning lane, you can book a new one. Tower of Terror is one of the attractions that has 2 scan points, so I'll have to scan again. But once I hit that second scan point, I will be able to book another lightning lane. We'll see what we can do. I'd love to get Rock and Roller Coaster or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but not super stressed about it. I got in advance the 3 attractions that I was most interested in getting. Honestly, if I only get those 3 for the whole day, I'll consider the purchase worth it. That is part of the benefit of being able to see what you are booking before you purchase. If we get extra, it'll just be a bonus in this situation. Was able to get on Tower of Terror. It was terrifying, but very fun, as always. All right, now, if you also find yourself wanting coffee a little later in the morning, this Joffrey's location is the one to go to at the exit of Tower of Terror. It's obviously a bit out of the way, but because of that, when the other Joffrey's and the Starbucks start to get really long lines, it will not have them. So you can go to one of the other ones early like I did, or you can make your way down here if you're in prime time. All right, we've got 2 shows to see down here and Rock and Roller Coaster to ride. I was able to grab a lightning lane for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for later this evening. I was checking to see if I could get a lightning lane for Rock and Roller Coaster for right around now. No dice, but that's okay because I wanted lunch anyway. So that's what I think we're gonna do. All right, you might not know this spot has such fun items, but Fairfax Fair does like bowls, waffle bowls, full of stuff. It's very fun. But I got the buffalo chicken bowl, which is chicken strips tossed in buffalo sauce, topped with coleslaw, served on mashed potatoes in a waffle bowl. And it is pretty darn tasty. Here she is in all her glory. What more could you want? Not the easiest thing in the world to eat. I also do tend to skip the bowl, which has immediately disintegrated. I think they filled mine way more than they usually do. Classic Disney strips with a lot of buffalo sauce that actually has some legitimate heat to it. Like, I would call this spicy. The coleslaw is clearly being made relatively fresh, like maybe not in that kiosk, but at least nearby. Chunks of cabbage and fresh scallions on top. And the mashed potatoes are smooth and creamy. They have little bits of the skin in them, which is how I like them. But it's so filling, it's just downright fun. I am considering doing something kind of silly. There's a caricature booth right here. And I'm like, what if, you know? What if? I did buy a caricature. They can work from photo, so you don't have to have the people or pets with you that you want drawn. I got my cat Hemingway and my dog Mooney. I'm getting them drawn together. I can't wait to see it. The pet tunes are so cute. I'm gonna surprise my fiance with it. So anyway, stay tuned to see the pet tune that I impulse buy at Hollywood Studios. For now, we are headed back to the very back of Sunset Boulevard. There are two things back here that are on our must-do list. One is Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After, a show. We don't have to worry too much about catching this one because, as you can see, it has tons of showtime. They might be on their break right now. Oh no, it's 3:04. We could make that 3:10 right now. We will do so depending on the Rock and Roller Coaster wait. Because it's also the 3:50, 55. It's been fluctuating. It's gone lower than that. And I might still be able to grab a lightning lane for it if I'm lucky. So I think we'll go ahead and catch that next Villains Unfairly Ever After show. Villains is a stage show hosted by the Magic Mirror, who has a bit of a conundrum that you need to help with. You see, all of the villains have been trying to ask the Magic Mirror who has been treated the most unfairly of all. And unfortunately, he's been enchanted to only answer to the evil queen. So he can't tell them, but they're driving him absolutely batty because they won't stop bothering him. And a couple have even gotten powerful enough to break through the mirror and appear live on stage, Cruella, Captain Hook, and Maleficent. You, the audience, have to decide which of those three is treated most unfairly at all. We here at All Ears are Captain Hook fans, because we just have some certainly villainous, piratey folk among us. So Captain Hook is a favorite of ours. Such a good show, so much fun every single time. I've seen it at least like 6 times by now, so I haven't gotten tired of it yet. I highly recommend seeing this. I think it is such a great addition to Hollywood Studios. Yeah, the Lightning McQueen animatronic was cool, but live entertainment's pretty important, and they do some awesome work on that show. It is so good. Okay, I think, I haven't checked, but we weren't in there that long. I would guess the Rock and Roller Coaster wait is about the same. Here's my plan. Wait, what time is it? Okay, it's 3:30. So if we want to catch Beauty and the Beast, we should not get in the Rock and Roller Coaster line, because the last Beauty and the Beast is at 4. So I think that's probably gonna be our next stop, which means we have a little time for a little sweet treat now that lunch is digested a bit. And Hollywood Scoops is nearby, which is a prime ice cream spot. You can find like soft serve and frozen slushies a couple of places around, but if you want hard pack classic ice cream, which is my preference in Disney World, you want to head to Hollywood Scoops in Hollywood Studios. I actually changed my mind, though I do love hard pack ice cream. I am feeling a little sleepy, so I was like, man, it would be good to get like a Coke, but I want ice cream. But I'm really close to KRNR The Rock Station, which serves Coca-Cola floats. So why choose when we can have both? All right, Coca-Cola float acquired. Looks great. Perfect dessert afternoon pick-me-up combo. Ooh, that's a spoon. Now, the wait for Rock and Roller Coaster is kind of creeping up over there. I just spotted it says 70 minutes now. That is longer than I want to wait. I have a feeling it'll drop later in the evening, or I might be able to get a lightning lane if one pops back up. So I think if it stays that high after our show, we might head up the street, because we are going to be back down here later, because of course our night is going to finale with the best nighttime spectacular in this park and probably in Disney World, Fantasmic, a journey beyond your wildest imagination. So that is definitely a reason we're gonna have to be back down here. We're gonna have to get our caricature, so we can always do Rockin' a little later and hope that wait time drops a bit. A wonderful show. Definitely not the like newest, most special effecty show there is, but live performance, live singing. Couple things of interest. One, there was a gaggle of theater kids, teenagers sitting behind me, and I'm wearing a hat for Hadestown, which is my favorite musical. On the back it says "Keep your head low," and they really freaked out about my hat choice. Second funny thing that happened, a little boy was dead asleep in his dad's arms, and I saw his dad keep checking to see how asleep he was because he was carrying him and he looked heavy, you know. And the little boy was wide awake and he was pretending to be asleep so his dad would carry him, because his dad would look away and the little boy would fully open his eyes and was like looking around at me and everything else. And I was like, that's funny, because then he would just go back to pretending to be asleep so his dad would carry him, which like I literally remember doing that as a child, so I get it. I'm walking over to look at, with my eyes, Rock and Roller Coaster. It's dropped to a 50-minute wait. It's still a bit longer than I wanted to wait, but honestly, I didn't try that hard looking for a lightning lane. So I was gonna see, yeah, I mean, visually it still looks like it's 50 minutes. I might look at what the single rider line looks like. Now this is a single rider line we notoriously say not to do because it is slow. Often as slow as the regular line. It's pretty much a rule that if a ride vehicle has an even number of seats, the single rider line moves slow, and if it has an odd number of seats, it moves fast. This one has an even number. I'm curious, because if there's not that many people in the single rider line, it could get us on it. But I don't want to be in it forever. So I'm gonna get in it, see how long it is, and we might get right back out. Hi, thank you. Doesn't look too bad. We might try this out because it looks pretty short. I haven't tested it from this length. I haven't tested it in a while because I don't trust it. But let's try it out. It does seem to be moving. It's literally only this wall and it goes right through that next room and into the pre-show room. So let's just see how long we end up in line here. Lots of movement like this is a little bit misleading because the single rider line gets moved into the pre-show in big chunks, and then after that you still kind of wait slowly. All right, there's no pre-show right now, but from that little single rider line, it was 25 minutes to get to the pre-show room where there would be a pre-show or will be a pre-show when it's Muppets. And then now I've got to wait in this line in here. We'll see. It moves pretty slow, but hopefully we'll be up there in not too long. Okay, it took 40 minutes. I would do it if it were at that spot during a 55-minute line. But we still got shorter than the post-it, and 40 minutes was about what I wanted to wait for this if we waited. So it was great. Rock on. 40 minutes, really not that bad for Rock and Roller Coaster, especially right now. It's gonna have pretty long waits until it closes. The current Aerosmith version closes, and then when it reopens with the new version, the Muppets version, it's gonna have pretty long waits. So gotta get used to the longer waits for Rockin' right now. Pretty much as soon as I got in the single rider line, it like doubled in length almost. Started going all the way around that corner, which at that point, I mean, if I waited 40 minutes, those people were in for like an hour plus. They even make announcements in the Rockin' queue that say the single rider line will take as long or perhaps even longer than the regular line, and your party will be split up. So single rider line for Rock and Roller Coaster is really best reserved for those. In most instances, I tell folks that if you're willing and able, you should use the single rider line. For Rock and Roller Coaster, don't. You might as well just wait in the regular line and stay with your family. Good news though, my pet caricature is ready. So we can go pick that up as we head up Sunset Boulevard. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I love it. Look, that's so cute. I love it. It's so cute. What a fun souvenir. I'm so excited. I'm gonna surprise my fiance with this. He doesn't know. Some big fun I just walked past. I gotta show you. If you ever see a square tape on the ground in Disney World, you wanna walk through it. That's why. They are called clap boxes, and cast members will sometimes set them up, and if you walk through them, you'll get some cheers. You can still hear the cheers going off back there. I believe it's actually time for our lightning lane for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which works out perfectly for my little plan here. I gotta figure out what I want to do for dinner. Also, there are 2 shows. I'm not sure how they're gonna fit into our night, if they will, but the 2 shows are Frozen Sing-Along and then the Little Mermaid show. We saw 3 shows today, and I highly recommend seeing probably at least that many in Hollywood Studios, and then you can kind of mix and match the ones that are most important to you. So my favorite's Indiana Jones and Villains. Those were both ones I really wanted to see, and then I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast in a while, so I went with those. If you love Frozen or you've got someone in the family who loves Frozen, make sure to make it to the Frozen Sing-Along. If you have a Little Mermaid fan, make sure you make it to Little Mermaid, and you can swap out one of the shows I saw. Sorry, I keep thinking about my pet tune. This is great. If you're wondering, it's for the kind that I got, the full color face only. It was $35 per pet, and then it was $5 for the like protector, art protector that it's in. You can also get them framed, you can get full body, you can do black and white and it's a little cheaper. You can get the pets on separate, you can get them together, whatever. So, only a 35-minute wait for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway right now. That's really not that bad, but we are going to head in the Lightning Lane. Okay, scanned on in to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This is a super cute ride. It's a trackless ride like Rise, but in other ways, nothing like Rise. You are catching the newest short, which is premiering here, and things go a little wonky in the short, and you end up walking on into the Toon World.
Don't let it get away! Let me rock now! Now, let's...
Okay, so our Lightning Lanes in Toy Story Land, which is the only land we haven't broached at this point. Our Lightning Lanes for that land are currently a few hours away. I think they're going to be I think I'm going to do them honestly towards the end of their Lightning Lane window, because I would kind of like them to be some of the last things we do before we go to Fantasmic tonight. Which means I think we can squeeze in one show and dinner. Let's do longer dinner, longer, nicer dinner. It's Hollywood Studios, that's the vibe here. And then we'll do Mermaid, our Lightning Lanes in Toy Story Land, and finish up with a big finale at Fantasmic. Sounds like a pretty good night to me. There are a lot of great dinner restaurants in Hollywood Studios. If you want a more kid-geared vibe, some good options are 50s Primetime Cafe, where you go back in time and eat in the 50s kitchen of your aunt, I think, and then your cousins serve you, and there's some antics. They make fun of you a bit. If you are not the biggest fan of like sort of the gimmicky restaurants, you might want to steer clear of this one. Also kind of gimmicky and heavily themed, but not as harsh, more casual, more recognizable, is Woody's Roundup, which is a Toy Story themed restaurant where you're shrunk down to a size of a toy, eat some barbecue favorites, and then for a little bit nicer of a sit-down meal, you can do Hollywood Brown Derby, or its accompanying lounge that does have the full menu. Oh, the walk-up waitlist is open for Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge. I just couldn't find it earlier, so I went ahead and got my name on the list. It is a 30-minute wait for my party size for a larger party. It was only a 10-minute wait. People say a lot of times that the reason we have such luck in Disney World is because we're doing things alone. 90% of the time, your party size doesn't matter until you get into a really big party size. But 30-minute wait for me. I have a rule where I never believe a restaurant's wait time is accurate. I always think it's shorter than what they say, and I'm usually right. But that gives me a good time to shop, even though I'm probably not going to buy anything else because my souvenir budget of the day was spent on my pet tune. Oh, those look cute and comfy. Look, there's a Dior one. Dude. Oh my gosh. $60, that is so cute. There's lots of great shops all the way up and down both Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard, so you can kind of get around. I like across the street from here, Celebrity 5 and Dime, which is, or Celebrity 5 and 10. I think it's the same thing, but it has homeware. I like Disney homeware. If I hadn't bought this pet tune, I'd be in that Eeyore sweatshirt right now. Oh, I love the Captain Hook ornament. That's crazy. Look at this with the monorail handle. That's cool. We haven't quite been called back for dinner, but as you might be able to tell, Hollywood Studios can certainly be a lot, but you can also make it pretty easy with the right strategy and tips. If you want our full guide to have a perfect day just like I did today, you can scan the QR code on screen now or head to AllEars.net/perfectdayhs. It's completely free and it has our entire cast's favorite itineraries and tips, so you can see what we do on our perfect days in Hollywood Studios and pick what might be right for you. Okay, my restaurant theory proved wrong tonight because they were running a little behind. So I did end up waiting like 40 minutes, but honestly through the shopping and then I had a nice sit for like 10 minutes, which I did need at this point, but it was really not too bad of a wait. The vibe at Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge, you're on the patio of Hollywood Brown Derby, so it's like swanky, you can see people walking by, you can see all the lights, but it's obviously not as like cool as inside. The restaurant inside is themed to be just like the original Hollywood Brown Derby with like characters of celebrities and stuff, so it's really cool. But the same menu is available out here. Now that menu is pricey. Entrees here range in like the 40s and 50s mostly, except for their famous Cobb salad, which is $30. And I highly recommend the famous Cobb salad. That is what I am getting because it is so delicious and so classic. And I also got a martini because they have amazing bartenders here. And martinis are one of the things that they're kind of known for doing here. They do martini flights, margarita flights, and they even have a dessert martini based on their grapefruit cake. So good. Definitely in the like top tier of dirty martinis, especially in Disney World that I've had. So just in general, all of the cocktails you can get here are all made to order, are all delicious. And then if you order what you like the cocktail you usually drink, it will be delicious. My Cobb salad did arrive, as you can see, very beautiful, lots of dressing. It's really gonna get in there. She's so good. The original Cobb salad was invented at the original Hollywood Brown Derby, and this is the recipe. Not many better places to get a Cobb salad. All right, it's time to buckle up and ride for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, Little Mermaid show is starting in like 1 minute. I think we can make it. Reason number 2, we will have like 30 minutes to do 2 lightning lanes after that before the park closes. We need to go get in line for Fantasmic. Tonight, it's winter. The park closes at 9. The only Fantasmic show is at 9:30. So it's actually made so that you don't have to use any of your park day going to Fantasmic. But I'm gonna go try to make it in those doors for Little Mermaid, which are now open. Let's go, it's the last one of the night. Love that show. It's recently updated. It's very similar to the old show, but there's lots of new effects, new puppetry, some new scenes, and it's the Little Mermaid story, which what's not to love? Incredible performers in the show, definitely worth seeing. I know I said we're in a rush, and we are, but I'm just gonna rush to the Walt Disney Presents exhibit. So this is always a part of my perfect day, is checking out the exhibits, talking about Walt Disney and the development of the parks. I recently got the opportunity to go to the Disney Springs premiere of Disneyland Handcrafted and actually interview Leslie Iwerks on the creation of her new film, Disneyland Handcrafted. That film documents the year leading up to Disneyland's opening, which was very chaotic. It is an incredible documentary, and Leslie's doing a lot to really preserve the history. It was a very cool experience, and that film is now out on Disney's YouTube and Disney Plus, so I do really recommend it. I enjoyed it a lot, and I would say that even if I didn't get to talk to the director, which was also really cool, because it is shocking how they got this to come out of a field in the course of 1 year. Though folks do love the food at Woody's Lunchbox and the vibe at Woody's Lunchbox, I tend to think it's a touch overrated. It's not one of my #1 recommendations. And obviously I've been holding on to these 2 Toy Story lightning lanes. Slinky Dog Dash is really the main reason I decided to purchase Lightning Lane, as that ride has been above an hour wait and almost an hour and a half wait pretty much all day. The only downside to saving Toy Story Land for the night is that if you have anyone who really wanted to meet a Toy Story character, those meet and greets will end earlier. So don't wait into the night if that's the case. Swing over here a little bit earlier. Toy Story Mania is going to be our first stop. We are in that secret 2-hour grace period loophole for the lightning lane. Let's head on. Toy Story Mania, shooter attraction themed to Toy Story, where you're playing midway games hosted by the Toy Story characters. Super fun, very competitive with your family, and weirdly uses a muscle in your arm that I didn't know exists. I get the cat every time. I can't do better than getting the cat. My skills are capped at getting the cat. To be fair, there are a couple of times you can earn bonus points. And my favorite time to earn bonus points is in the plates scene. If you and the person next to you shoot the plates that are thrown up next to the mountain at the same time, a little bonus scene is unlocked, and I can't do that one alone. So the one I usually get is the volcano. If you shoot all of the little lava balloons out from the volcano explodes with a ton of balloons, but it's just not enough. Slinky Dog Dash is a Slinky Dog themed roller coaster. It is basically a little coaster that Andy has set up in his backyard. You ride in Slinky Dog. It is a family coaster, but I'll warn you, a bit more intense than you might be expecting. But we are gonna hop on Slinky Dog Dash with a lightning lane, skipping a 60-minute line, which is one of the shortest it's been all day. This is the hair of a woman who's been in Hollywood studios for 10 hours, 11 hours. I'm not counting. I love Toy Story Land at night because I can actually appreciate the vibe it feels like. And also, I love these giant Christmas lights so much. Now, I'm gonna hurry over, head to see Fantasmic as a big finale to the best day ever in Hollywood studios. It's been a pretty darn good day. I think we kind of killed it. Did I cry during Fantasmic? You'll never know. It's the Elsa part. It gets me every time, man. They added that in just to make me cry. And then I cry for like the rest of the show. Anyway, that was a pretty darn good day in Hollywood Studios. We learned a lot of really good tips today for all around Hollywood Studios. Hopefully those are helpful to you when you are coming, and if not, you can just rewatch this video so that you can feel like you're going to Hollywood Studios anytime. If you are still here, please like this video and drop this secret code in the comments so we know you made it all the way. Plus, don't forget to subscribe. We upload perfect days, tips, and more from Disney World and beyond all week because we are pretty serious about fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.